and Nebraska. A ranked matchup inside the rack today. And along with the former Rutgers heavyweight Sean Dedine, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for joining us. Nebraska and Rutgers, two ranked teams. This is just another typical Big Ten matchup. And today inside the rack, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. Nebraska comes in here ranked in the top 5 in the country, and right away you get out to the top 10 matchup here with Tim Lambert and Sean McCabe going right at it.
Well, this is the 125. Rutgers 9-2 on the season. Nebraska 7-0. And McCabe 6-4 on the season. Lambert 10-1 on the year. Well, Rutgers coming off a tough loss to Iowa a couple days ago. And a nice takedown to start. Nebraska, on the other hand, they just dueled with Maryland yesterday, won that game 30-9, and haven't lost in 17 duels. And Nebraska in the red.
Sean McCabe was in on a really good takedown there, but Lambert does a nice job of funking out of it. He's trying to keep that ankle in, but looks like Lambert's going to get around for 2 points.
And there is the 2 points. And those are the first. So here's some riding time now for Tim Lambert. That clock has just started a few seconds ago.
Lambert did a really great job there. Sean McCabe got on a deep takedown. You could hear the crowd go nuts, and then Lambert does what he does really well. Has great defense, gets out of it. It's now going up to 30 seconds of riding time and looking to get a turn. He's got that figure 4 trying to hip it over. McCabe doing a nice job of trying to fight with his feet there to get that out.
Yeah, Lambert, he's the junior from Forest Hills, Michigan. Just outside of Grand Rapids. And that's the end of the first period. And those 2 points for Tim Lambert. And his bout against Maryland yesterday won that 15-0. And McCabe, he's trying to bounce back from a loss a couple days ago against Iowa. Boy, for Rutgers, you go up against number 2 in the country, Iowa, now number 4 in the country, Nebraska.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier up and down the lineup in the Big Ten. Every team, I believe there's 9 teams ranked in the top 15, and what a good reversal there by Lambert on McCabe. Right back to growing his riding time. McCabe right to his feet, looking to peel his hands, and gets away for the escape. And this is where McCabe can get himself back into the match. Kev is on his feet. He has good offense from his feet, but he's got to get active down 4-1 midway through the match.
And he's been in the rankings the last couple weeks. He's number 18 in that 125 weight class. Minute and 30 seconds left in the second period. Well, if you're McCabe, what are you looking for right here? Down a few points.
Yeah, you have to attack right here, get good position. Lambert does a nice job. You can see him keeping his hands, protecting his legs, and doing a good job creating movement. But Sean McCabe's got to get to one of his shots, get in on a leg, and Lambert takes the first action. He wants to come out the back door there, but it looks like he's sitting through. McCabe doing a nice job of hanging on tight. He wants to try to stay as tight to his body as he can. If he gets that past his head, past his knee, he's going to be in good position to score. And there it is, the 2-point takedown. And now he's looking for back points. He's got the leg, trying to get the leg elevated, keep him across. McCabe doing a nice job pushing back into him.
6-1 Nebraska. 30 seconds remaining in the second period, and riding time just about to hit 1 minute.
Yeah, Tim Lambert's doing a good job controlling the pace of the match on his feet and on top. Sean McCabe really hasn't been able to generate too much offense. Right here you see him crotch and claw, building up the riding time, looking for an exposure. Going right back into throwing legs. And McCabe with the reversal. Lambert got a little bit high, Kevin, and he was able to put him right before the period. And that's one thing Coach Goodale's always talked about is winning the period. And right there, you see him get himself back into the match. Going into the third period, it's Sean McCabe's choice, picks bottom. If he can get out here, puts him within a takedown.
You just mentioned it. Lambert had that takedown a couple moments ago. That's a big 2-point swing for Sean McCabe. He's from New York.
Looks like there was a caution there that wasn't called. But Sean McCabe doing a good job right there. Gets out right away. Huge there to get out right away in the third period. Keeps the riding time manageable. Right now, Lambert has 1 minute and 26 seconds of riding time. So a takedown and able to get some positioning there. And he'll be able to get that back under and tie the match up here at 6. But McCabe has to get on his offense. He likes an outside single.
Nebraska 6, Rutgers 4. 125 weight class to start. About 90 seconds left. You said it. There's an important point sitting out there. 1 minute and 26 seconds of riding time for Lambert, the Nebraska junior.
Yeah, right now, if you're Sean McCabe as they go out of bounds, you have to feel it's a 3-point match, and you got to get to a leg attack. Lambert's leg forward is the one McCabe likes, and there's his shot outside. That's the shot he likes. He was a little far away, and he backs out of it.
About 1 minute and 5 seconds in the third period. Well, Lambert, so tough out of the gate for all of Nebraska's opponents. He's made 2 straight NCAA tournaments, appearances in the championship. And just a junior, he's got 1 more year with his head coach, Mark Manning.
And there's the shot that he likes to get, Kevin. He's got to get height. Lambert's funky there. You can see him all the way ripped around, but he's got to pop his head through that knee. McCabe's in good position. He's got to get height. And Lambert does what McCabe wanted to do and get height. As soon as he crosses that face and he lets go of that ankle, it'll be 2 points. And there it is.
And just 15 seconds left now.
15 seconds left in the match. Looks like it's going to be a 9-4 victory for Nebraska with just about 5 seconds left here. Sean McCabe almost comes back right there to end it, but Tim Lambert a little bit too much.
Now Lambert now 7-1 in dual matchups. And the Cornhuskers get out to the early lead. Well, Nebraska just took down Maryland 30-9 already after 2 bouts for the Cornhuskers. Remember, they haven't lost in 17 duels. That's dating back to last year.
Absolutely, Kevin. And this is the one that, if you're watching this duel meet, this is the one you circle on the screen. Anthony Ashnault, number 3 in the country, undefeated, wrestling Anthony Abidin for Nebraska, ranked number 17. But Anthony does have a win over Anthony Ashnault last year in their duel meet.
Both of these guys, All-Americans, NCAA qualifiers. This is a fun one. Abidin, 17 in the country. Ashnault, number 3 in the country. Ashnault, he's from South Plainfield, New Jersey. You know, there's some great wrestling history down in that area.
Absolutely, and a lot of their fans here today, right around the corner from Piscataway here at the rack.
Now, you mentioned him, Scott Goodell. He's now in his 9th season as the head coach of the Scarlet Knights. He loves to bring in those New Jersey guys, very passionate about wrestling in New Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. And any state, any college, you really want to be able to recruit in your own backyard. And that was one of the things as Anthony goes in on a great double leg there and gets the first takedown. And that's really the key to success at any major university is you got to first be able to recruit in your backyard. And Coach Goodale has done a great job of keeping the best talent in New Jersey home. They just locked up another recruiting class, which I don't believe there's any rankings out yet for, but I believe will be a top 10, if not higher, in the country with some great prospects coming out. But you see Anthony right now trying to bring him back down to the mat. Ashnault does successfully return him. Coach Manning and Coach Snyder over there for Nebraska not really happy with how long that took. We're upset they didn't get a hit for a stall point. But you see right now Anthony Ashnault on top, riding the crossbody, figure four the leg, trying to look across. Lifts up the head to try to get hand control. Looking for a turn here. Doing a nice job just going over a minute of riding time. They're having a little bit of difficulty tracking that, but they do have over a minute of riding time.
It's already 2-0. Ashnault with that first takedown.
Right there, rolls him across. He didn't have it locked up the way he'd want. Good job by Anthony Ashnault trying to keep him locked up, but Abidin gets away. Back on their feet, 45 seconds. And Coach Goodale over at the head table, they're having some trouble with their riding time, but I believe it's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Anthony down to an ankle pick.
2-1 right now. Nebraska just got that point. We talked about it. Ashnault, he's one of 8 New Jersey natives we're going to see in this lineup today.
Yeah, like we were saying before, Kevin, with 20 seconds left here in the match, in the first period here for Anthony Ashnault, one of the best guys to ever come out of New Jersey, first 4-time undefeated state champion, stays at home. And Coach Goodale, like I said, has done a great job recruiting in his own backyard, and that's going to be the key to success in New Jersey, is keeping this talent home.
5 seconds left in the first. And Ashnault, team high 10 dual wins this year. Here's a look at that takedown.
He gets right in and immediately wraps up the legs. There's no way that Abidin can funk out of that, and Ashnault puts him right down to his hip and scores the takedown.
How quick is Anthony Ashnault when he's out there? It's tough to see him coming.
Yeah, he's extremely explosive. He works a lot on that, and he's focused. You can see him right now. There's 2,000 people here, and he's extremely focused on what he does, and mentally tough. One of the things that I think helps separate him from everybody else is his mental toughness. He's just willing to sacrifice more. I know he spends a lot of time with Wrestling Mindset, and Jeff and Gene Zanetti do a great job. And if you follow wrestling, you absolutely know that they're the best mindset coaches in the game. And they spend a lot of time at Rutgers and a lot of time with other universities around the country, high schools. And right here, he cross wrist tilt. He's got 2, 3, 4. Looks like he's going to get 4 back points, and they do award him with 4 back points. And you can see it. He was so focused, enters the second period, immediately comes cross wrist, gets the tilt, 4 back points, and now it's 6-1. Anthony Ashnault with approaching 2 minutes of riding time.
Yeah, that gets the crowd back into it. Nebraska just won the first 2 bouts. Easy decisions for Lambert and Montoya. This energizes Rutgers crowd inside the rack.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you're wrestling a top 5 team in the country. Bonus points are huge, and now that you have a 6-1 lead, over 2 minutes of riding time, make that 6-2 with the escape for Abidin. You have to start thinking about bonus points if you're Anthony Ashnault, and putting Rutgers in a position where they can catch some matches along the rest of the way and put them in a position to win the duel.
By the way, that riding time up over 2 minutes now for Ashnault. He is yet to drop a duel yet this season. He was one of the 2-bout victories against Iowa 2 days ago.
Yeah, Anthony Ashnault has been on an absolute tear. Has several ranked wins in the top 10 in the country against opponents this year, coming off an All-American finish as a redshirt freshman last year. Nice job there. Reshot in by Anthony Ashnault. Just overpowers him for another takedown. 15 seconds left here in the second period. You can see Coach Leonardis screaming to keep him down.
Remember, last year, Ashnault lost to Abidin. And now he's in position to get that revenge this year, 8-2.
You can see him right here. Sits him right back. Has the cross wrist tilt. Able to get the back point. See Coach Leonardis in the background counting him out. And he gets the 4 and extends his lead, 8-2 here. And to start the third period here on their feet, Anthony Ashnault has to start thinking major decision. The score is 9-2 with riding time officially locked up in about 7 more seconds here. It'll be 9-2 Anthony Ashnault with about 1.5 minutes left here in the third period.
And he wants those 4 points and get this to a 8 or more decision. Excellent move.
Another blast double. Runs right through him. Now he's driving forward here. Goes right back to the figure 4, trying to get the hip over, lifting up the head to try to create some pressure. Rip the hip over and see if they can get an exposure for back points.
Well, Ashnault in line for a major decision would give Rutgers 4. Nebraska has the 6-0 lead after 2 bouts. This is the third. And 1 minute left in the third period.
Right now, 10-2, 11-2 with the riding time. Over 3 minutes of riding time with 50 seconds left here for Anthony Ashnault. And you can see him not satisfied. Working right there. They call a stalemate with 45 seconds to go. as they come back to the center, Kevin. And you got to start thinking, if you're Coach Goodale, what the rest of the lineup looks like. You have some decisions to make at 157 with Richie Lewis and Van Brill. And as you go through that, you got to start thinking there's another caution. And that was something that hurt Rutgers against Iowa. They had several cautions, one for a point at 165 with Anthony Perrotti. Got to be careful of that.
Now, this will be a tough defeat for Anthony Abidin, a senior from Dixie Hills, New York. He's an All-American last year, finished 8th in the NCAA championships. Just 35 seconds to go in the third period. And with that riding time point, I should say, it's 11-2 right now, Rutgers.
Anthony Ashnault does a nice job keeping control right here, trying to keep him back down. Abidin trying to escape, but Anthony not letting him go. Continuing to re-drop him and ride him out here with 12 seconds left in the match. Abidin does a funk roll there. Anthony follows, continuing to wrestle, not wanting to give up the point, and doesn't.
That's 4 points for Rutgers. Crowd to their feet inside the Rutgers Athletic Center.
And there's the double leg by Anthony Ashnault. Picks him right up, puts him right to his hip, scores the takedown. On the football field over at Iowa is absolutely an amazing event put on by Coach Tom Brands and John Smith at Oklahoma State and Iowa. And really a great thing they did for the sport of wrestling. But yeah, going into Carver Hawkeye Arena for the first time, wrestling a dual meet there in front of 5,000 or 6,000 crazy Iowa fans can be an intimidating thing. And I think that the moment might have got to be a little bit big for him. But as they came home, I was talking to Coach Pollard earlier today before the match, and he said they came back, had a couple delays on the flight, got back here last night, had a really hard go, one of their toughest practices in a while, and kind of just grinded out the loss they felt and the you want to say the overpowering they felt at Iowa to get that out of their systems and to get ready to roll here today against Nebraska.
That's Joe Pollard, Rutgers assistant coach. This is the 149 bout. Jake Sueflohn for Nebraska. He's in the red. Tyson Dippery. He's in the black for the Scarlet Knights. Nebraska 6, Rutgers 4. Well, Dippery's 7-4 on the season in dual matchups. Sueflohn 6-1. He's 11-1 overall.
Good action so far by both guys. A lot of pushing and pulling here. Dippery is really good here underneath. You can see Sueflohn getting his elbow out. If you've done any scouting on Tyson Dippery, you know he likes to go dump on neutral when they get him in the front head, and on top he's really dangerous. So you can see him trying to get his elbow back right away.
Well, if you're Sueflohn, who's trying to become the 24th member of the 100-win club in Nebraska history, just needs 10 more, how do you counteract that?
That's a good way to start. Gets right in onto a double leg takedown. You could see him pass his elbows by, gets right underneath Tyson Dippery to get the takedown, and very workmanlike for Sueflohn. This is a match, if you're looking at it on paper, and Tyson Dippery is more than capable of pulling the upset, but if you're looking at it on paper, you want to minimize the damage here against Jake Sueflohn and see if you can start to put something on top. And here comes Tyson, does a nice job of hipping into him, creates some space, able to get back to his feet. And that's really where he wants to be, on his feet and on top, but right back into a takedown, jumps right off to the side to funk roll. See if he can get that and get underneath of it. Gets underneath. He's got to watch his own back there, but doing a good job creating some space. Now he needs to get height. I don't believe they've awarded the 2 yet. Looks like they're going to watch for potentially dangerous. And there's the stalemate. Tyson doing a good job of bailing out of that. But he needs to get in on a shot. Likes to go outside single if he can.
Dippery, the redshirt sophomore from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He faced his first ranked opponent against Iowa. Lost. Trying to bounce back today.
Sueflohn in on another good outside single, switches immediately to a double and puts him right on his hip. And that's so important. You saw just moments ago when Sueflohn was in on a shot, immediately Tyson Dippery bails out and goes funk roll, able to work for the stalemate. And right there, as soon as Sueflohn got in on the takedown, put him right to his hip as we end the first period, 4-1 with 25 seconds of riding time in favor of Jake Sueflohn.
4 points for Sueflohn, 1 for Dippery. Nebraska has the 6-4 edge. Our 4th bout of the day, and this is the 2nd period.
And they're going to start him right on his feet. Tyson Dippery picks bottom, but Sueflohn wants to go right back up to neutral. Gives him the free point, 4-2 entering the 2nd period here. And Tyson Dippery has to get to his own offense. Jake Sueflohn just too good on his feet right now. As soon as he gets to the legs, able to put him right to his hip and score.
Tyson Dippery had such a spectacular high school career out in Harrisburg. Most wins in school history. At Central Dauphin High School at 183.
Right there to a single, switches immediately to a double, puts him right on his hip. Makes the score 6-2 and starts to ride that riding time clock up towards a minute, going over 30 seconds now.
Sueflohn with the 6 points, 2 for Dippery. It's tough for Sueflohn. Suffered that ACL tear a year ago, had to redshirt, so now he's back fully healthy. Off to a blazing start. He's 11-1 overall.
Yeah, he's having a great year and was able to really rehab that knee well last year. Comes back, like you said, 11-1 so far. And right here showing why he's so good on his feet. Awards the point, goes back neutral and looking to score. They're going to call him out of bounds because he's on the basketball court there off the mat. Looks like there's some blood.
50 seconds remaining in the 2nd period. Sueflohn and Dippery. And there is the Rutgers head coach. He's had 4 top 25s finishes and 1 top 10 finish since 2009. I mean, the last 5-6 years for this program has taken off for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. My last year here, we were number 9 in the country, finished the season. And like I said, I was part of Coach Goodale's first recruiting class after his first year here. And what he's done to change the program. When we first started having dual meets at home, when I got here, they were another blast double right through them. But when we first got here, we had maybe 150 people at the barn over on College Avenue. It was free to get in. You had to go across the hall to the dining hall and drag 6 people in to get them to come. And now there's over 1,000 tickets pre-sale, season tickets sold. Coach Goodale, top 10 in attendance for Rutgers Scarlet Knights last year in the country for home attendance, and it's really a testament to the passion he has, not just for wrestling, but you said it earlier, Kevin, New Jersey wrestling in particular.
Yeah, how about last season, close to 3,000 fans per match?
Yeah, it's just outstanding what he's done to turn the program around, and not just in the athletes that he produces and puts out on the mat and the product that he puts out on the mat, but everything from a fundraising standpoint to a production standpoint to how he is with the New Jersey coaches and the coaches around the country to the type of travel. All that kind of stuff is really first class, and Coach Goodale, Coach Leonardis got here together and have really built this up from the very beginning, and they're both done a great job. It's really exciting to see number 11 and number 12 and number 9, and I know that they have higher hopes as we go to another blood time. I know they have higher hopes than top 9 or top 10 in the country, but to get it from a program that I believe, if I'm right, was only ranked once in 1974 for a week at number 25 in the country prior to Coach Goodale's era, to consistently being ranked inside of the top 20 year in and year out, really says a lot about the effort and the sacrifice he's put through to get the program where it is.
Goodale, he's from Jackson, New Jersey. 7-year head coach, Jackson Memorial High School before coming to Piscataway. So 90 seconds left, 3rd period. You can see Sueflohn with riding time. He has a 10-3 advantage over Dippery. And the coaching matchup today is just fantastic as well. When you look at Mark Manning, 200-plus wins in his 16th year at Nebraska. 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what Coach Manning has done at Nebraska is second to none. He's produced some of the best wrestlers in the world, and quite frankly, right now, his guy Jordan Burroughs is the best pound-for-pound wrestler in the world. So what he's done with the talent that he's been able to bring into Nebraska, I mean, you see it here in the lineup, every single wrestler ranked, and his coaching staff with Coach Snyder and some of the other guys they are able to have in the room is really just great for wrestling in general. Right there, Sueflohn in on another takedown, scores 9-3, 30 seconds left here in the third, looking to try to get a takedown and get a major decision, able to turn all the way around. Now 11-3 with the riding time locked up, going over a minute 20 here with riding time. You got to start to see if Tyson can get out and try to keep this to a decision. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. That'll make it 12-3 with riding time here with 10 seconds left in the third period as we move on to 157.
And that would answer Rutgers' 4 points. It was a major decision for Anthony Ashnault in the previous weight class. And 4 more points for Nebraska. That's a major decision for Jake Sueflohn. We know how good he is, the senior from Watertown, Wisconsin. Now 7-1 in his duels this season. So give Nebraska 4 more points. It's 10-4. We know how dominant the Big Ten is from the wrestling standpoint. This is just the second year for Rutgers in that brand new conference. You start to face these Iowas and Nebraskas and Penn States. Still a little starstruck? Or what's that transition?
No, at this point you're not. I mean, maybe you felt that way walking into Carver, but you really shouldn't at this point. You've wrestled Big Ten dual meets in the past. You've wrestled big-time schools with Cornell and Lehigh in the past, the EIWA, and you've wrestled an entire season of Big Ten at this point. At this point, you're part of the league. I mean, iron sharpens iron. It's going to be a tough go every single time out, and I know Coach Goodell on the staff and the guys on the team are not afraid of that. And they're going to have to be ready to perform each night out. There's no easy out in the Big Ten. And speaking of that, right here with Richie Lewis comes into an unranked opponent at Iowa, picks up his first loss of the season, but right here has another opportunity against a top 10 opponent in Tyler Berger to be able to get back on track.
Well, Tyler Berger, he suffered a tough loss, fell by 1 point. Thanks to an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in his bout just last night against Maryland. But Berger still 6-1 overall in duels. It was Lou Mescola who he fell to yesterday. Berger, the redshirt freshman from Prineville, Oregon, and Lewis, another local kid. He's the junior from Toms River, New Jersey.
Yeah, he transferred in from Iowa Central Junior College out in Iowa, so he was familiar with the atmosphere. And
a little homecoming for him a couple days ago.
Comes back here, a minute and a half left here in the first period. And really the key to Richie Lewis's success is to get out on his own offense. And he's going to have to do that. He did not do that much against Iowa 2 nights ago, so really want to look forward to him getting out on his offense. But right now, both guys still feeling each other out. Not too many attempts here with a minute left here in the first period.
Yeah, he was 7-0 before that loss 2 days ago against Iowa.
Trying to get a little bit on his offense, but not able to clear hands. You can see Tyler keeping really good head position. Keep Lewis away from him, too far away to get to his leg attacks.
Nebraska 10, Rutgers 4.
Right there, Lewis able to get the ankle, pulls him back in. Good re-attack there. He's got a cradle locked up here. It looks like he has a cradle locked up, but he's not in great position to be able to roll through with it. You can see how much space there is with his right elbow. He really wants to have his elbows tight, but it looks like it's getting a little bit tighter and gets rid of that. Trying to get the takedown. 20 seconds left here in the first period. He's over the leg. That should be 2, and it is. With 15 seconds left here in the first period, he's got to be able to keep him down. He does not want to give up the escape. And right there, his back points. 1, 2, has the tilt. Looks like he's going to get at least 2 swipes, and 4.
Wow.
Ends the first period up 6-0. And that's what Richie Lewis can do to you right away. Gets the cross wrist tilt. Sits right back and gets the takedown. You can see him right here working. As soon as those hands came apart, that's when the 2 points were awarded. Was able to come right back. As soon as he sat into his hips, was
what
able
a
to pull him
response
back.
after the loss a couple of days ago. What a great way to start against Berger, who's number 10 in his weight class.
Absolutely, and that's how you have to respond. Again, when you wrestle the top competition day in and day out, you're going to get some losses on your record. I shouldn't say nobody, very few people are perfect for an entire season, especially wrestling a Big Ten schedule. But that's why you have to have a short mind and be able to get rid of that. And again, talking about the mental toughness and spending time with wrestling mindset and some other things that they do on the team, you have to be able to have a short mind and be able to get rid of that and go right back out and wrestle the next guy up. So that's what it's all about, especially when you get to the Big Ten tournament, the EIWAs and the NCAAs and whatever group you're in. You might suffer a loss, but you still have to continue to wrestle back for your team and for yourself.
Big Ten, 9 teams ranked in the top 25. We've got 2 top 15 teams going at it this afternoon inside the rack. By the way, riding time just about 30 seconds for Richie Lewis. Berger tries the shot there.
Richie doing a good job of controlling the center right now, but he really wants to get back in on his offense and his re-attacks, and you can see right there after Tyler's shot, tries to get right back in on the re-attack here with 35 seconds left in the second period. Want to try to see, we talked earlier about winning periods, want to see if he can get in on one more leg attack, try to finish the shot and score.
Well, had the crowd behind him at the end of the first period.
Ten seconds left here in the second period. Richie Lewis doing a good job of controlling center. Not too much action, though, here as we move into the third period. Up 6-1.
Well, Tyler Berger, just 1 defeat this year. 4-time state champion back at Crook County High School. What's his strategy to begin this third period now down 5?
Yeah, Kevin, good point. You got to start to chip away at the score 1 point at a time. So, you can't think about, you're down 5 points and you got to score 6 to win. You got to start chipping away. But Richie Lewis right in on an outside single, same position as last time, and bowls him over for the takedown as they go out of bounds there. 8-1. You wonder if he can't turn him, if he tries to cut him. But 8-1, 33 seconds of riding time. The coaches conferring with each other over there, Goodale Leonardis and Donnie, talking about, do we cut him? Looks like they're gonna. And there's a caution for Richie Lewis. 3 of those will score you a point.
You saw the coaches in the background
telling him to take it easy a little bit, and there's the release. Now 8-2, and there's right behind him again. He's got to be able to take him to his knees, and that'll be 2 points. And Coach Manning right in his wrestler's ear telling him, you got to stay focused here. Now 10-2. You got to start thinking about getting that 20 seconds. You have 40 seconds of riding time. You have to start thinking about getting that up to a minute before you let him go.
Now, Lewis has got 7 wins this year. 3 of those major decisions. He's trying for number 4.
45 seconds of riding time for Richie Lewis. 10-3. One more takedown is needed here for the major decision, and you really got to get behind him right now to see if you can get that takedown. If you're Tyler Berger, you got to take it 1 point at a time as we approach the last minute of the match here and see if you can get yourself back into it.
Yeah, this is our last match before the brief intermission. So Rutgers is down 6 points. Major decision gets you back within 2. Although Berger is trying to answer.
Goes for the single leg, unable to get it. 40 seconds left here. And this is huge for both teams. You got to start looking at bonus points, as we mentioned earlier with Anthony Ashnault's match. You got to get the points when you can. And he knows there's 25 seconds left. Let's see if he's able to get one more, Kevin.
Took a look at the clock. 20 seconds. Won't be any riding time point. like you said, one more takedown, and it's a major decision. Very close with just a couple seconds. But even still, it's a decision for Richie Lewis. He bounces back after the loss 2 days ago in Iowa City. And 3 points for Rutgers. It's a 3-point game. 10 for Nebraska, 7 for Rutgers. What's been most impressive so far today?
I think Richie Lewis's match right here, you're seeing the takedown right here on the edge of the match, takes what you really want to see.
At the end of our first 5 matches, Richie Lewis, he got Rutgers back in his scoring range, a 3-point game.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie Lewis came out on fire and really put on a great show. And now we get back to 165 with Anthony Perrotti and Austin Wilson, another pair of top 4, top 12 wrestlers. Anthony Perrotti, a former All-American, and right away some action with Wilson in on the shot.
If there was a matchup to circle today, this was one of them. Wilson, the senior, number 4 in his weight class. Perrotti, the red shirt senior, number 12. Well, Nebraska got out to the 6-0 lead. Tim Lambert and Eric Montoya won their first 2 bouts. Anthony Ashnault came back with a major decision for Rutgers. Jake Sueflohn answered right back with the major decision. And then Richie Lewis, he won his decision, 10-7 the score. Wilson, he's 7-0. Perrotti, 9-1 in the 165-pound weight class.
And Perrotti right in on the takedown there, powers right through, and that's what he can do. That's what he can do right there, and right there leads a 2-0 lead. 2 minutes left here in the first period, and is starting to rack up riding time.
Yeah, it was Perrotti and Ashnault, the only 2 to win their matches against Iowa. That was a 29-6 loss 2 days ago. Nebraska coming off that 30-9 victory over Maryland yesterday. This is the second of back-to-back duels for Nebraska. Cornhuskers 7-0. 17 straight duels without a loss. They've outscored their opponents. How about this? 197-51 in that span.
Yeah, and again, a testament to the coaching staff at Nebraska, but you can see why they have 17 wins in a row. Every wrestler in their lineup ranked, and right here, 2-1, a minute and a half left here in the first period with Perrotti opening up 30 seconds of riding time.
Perrotti, the All-American, qualified for the NCAAs in 2014.
Great shot right there by Wilson. Ducks right underneath, does a nice little baseball slide by, and very slickly puts Perrotti on his hip, gets the takedown. Now you can see Perrotti right there sitting, trying to get that leg out from over his, wants to put it on the side. You can see him sitting back in, but doesn't want to keep it across. Wilson grabbing his own leg, keeping it like a cross wrist there.
That might be one of the better takedowns today.
Beautiful takedown, extremely slick. Kind of one of those that you just look and go, ooh, as soon as he takes him down. Perrotti rolling through. He's got to get his leg back. See Wilson has his ankle to the mat. Perrotti trying to, you see him post his hand. He's got to keep moving there. He wants to reach across. He wants to try to grab his trap and pull it across, see if he can get to a cross face if possible.
Who has the advantage right now? A few seconds left.
Wilson does, because he's on top and has his own 37 seconds of riding time now. But Perrotti was putting himself in a good position to score. You can see right here, watch this takedown. Great pick. Powers right through him and gets a score. And here we are, 3-2 Nebraska here with Wilson having the lead. Anthony Perrotti, bottom position. And they're going to call a caution on Wilson.
Wilson, 3-time NCAA championship qualifier. He's from Hastings, Nebraska. And undefeated this year.
Great job creating space by Anthony Perrotti. Gets the reversal, and you can see him. He has the knee all the way across, and he's driving across, and they're going to call it potentially dangerous.
Rutgers coaches don't like it.
Wow. I don't really, I mean, you can see it right here. He's got it in good position. He can drive that across. That is not illegal. He might not be able to grab him at the toe. I don't really know what the problem is. You can see Coach Goodale talking to him, not real happy. The only thing you could think of is if the official saw Wilson's knee in a poor position, then it's the right call to stop it. Obviously, the safety of the athlete is the most important thing, but if that's the reason, then you got to understand it. But Anthony Perrotti was in a position to score. You can see it right here again. He's driving it across. He's in good position. His knee is, I guess it's tweaked a little bit too much. He screamed out. If it's for the safety of the athlete, it's the right thing to do. Absolutely, every time, the right thing to do. But looked like it was in a good position, and it was just a tough, tight move. But they're still talking about it here. Coach Snyder talking to the officials. There's another shot at Coach Goodale.
Yeah, Perrotti has the 1-point advantage now. Second period, Wilson and Perrotti, 165-pound weight class.
So because of the injury time for Wilson, Anthony Perrotti gets choice to choose top, bottom, or neutral, and choose his bottom. So even though he was on top, he gets to choose where he wants to be. He puts himself back on bottom, but he's got to work to score, even though he has a 4-3 lead. There's 10 seconds left, and Wilson will have over a minute of riding time, and he's tough on top. So he's got it now over 1 minute of riding time for Wilson. So Anthony Perrotti, the score is 4-4, technicality with the riding time, but he's got to work to get an escape. Even though he's leading on the scoreboard, Wilson does have a minute and 15 seconds of riding time. You see him scooting away from, trying to get his hips away from Wilson's. He's got to lift that leg out. Right now, it's like a gut wrench. He's got to lift it away and slide down towards it. That's what he's doing. And see if he can put him to his back and see if he can pin him. Everybody on their feet here.
And it's close.
And he's got the Navy locked in. He wants to run it across.
Now that riding time starting to subtract a bit for Wilson. Two points.
Back points. Wow. I mean, that was... I don't know if you can challenge how long that was on. I know that you can challenge here, but 2 back points for all that action. It didn't seem like he was on his back a lot longer than 2 to 3 seconds, but nonetheless, Anthony Perrotti with an 8-3 lead here, 15 seconds left in the third. No riding time. Rutgers wants 2 more back points. Not going to get it at this point with 5 seconds left. Huge victory there again of the upset over Austin Wilson, number 4 in the country for Anthony Perrotti.
And remember, Wilson undefeated this year. He's 7-0. So 2 minutes.
Going to the third period here.
2 minutes.
Clearly our fault. The period was incorrect in the arena here on the board that I'm looking at. Clearly not doing a good job of paying attention to that. 8-3 here.
Well, this is too good of a matchup. We can't let them go too soon.
But there's Anthony right there working for a half, trying to get him on his back. He's got him pretty tight. Wow, Austin.
And Wilson comes right back.
Austin Wilson does a great job of fighting off of that. Sorry for the mix-up there with the third period, but nonetheless, more action here with Wilson and Perrotti.
We told you this is going to be the fun one. 2 seniors. Perrotti from Roseland, New Jersey, went to West Essex High School. He's got 3 wins against ranked opponents this year, so he's trying for 1 more. Rutgers down 3. Gets the decision here. We'd be tied up.
Great job there by Anthony Perrotti, scooting the second boot in. He's got to watch his height here a little bit. Starting to build his own riding time up to 30 seconds.
And there's still that chance to get an extra point for riding time. There's 50 seconds left in the third. riding time is right now 40 seconds. All you need is 20 more.
We're going to approach a minute of riding time now for Anthony Perrotti, 1 minute and 2 seconds. And now you need to start to think it's 9-4 with the riding time. If you can get another takedown, 11-4 is not going to be enough. 15 seconds left here.
Well, this will surely tie it up. And Anthony Perrotti is going to knock off his 4th-ranked opponent this year. And Rutgers has tied it up at 10. Let's go down to TJ Curran.
The Rutgers was caught Nebraska on their heels. First with Lewis at 157, and now with Anthony Perrotti at 165. Every wrestler in the bottom half of the lineup for Nebraska is ranked, and Rutgers will have to keep things strong, especially in winning the riding time point and getting those extra team points so they can close this gap. The score is now tied, but in order to win this match, they'll have to keep playing aggressive and keep wrestling smart.
Yeah,
back to you.
Yeah, TJ, that's 3 of 4 bouts that have gone Rutgers' way. Up above center mat with Sean Dedine, the former Rutgers heavyweight. All of a sudden, it's a 10-10 tie score. A couple days ago, this was a wounded team that Scott Goodell said got bullied all over the mat against Iowa in a 29-6 loss.
Yeah,
they've responded.
Yeah, they really have. And like I mentioned earlier, Coach Pollard said they really had a tough workout last night when they got back from Iowa and kind of just got that one out of their system and left it behind them. And that's clear today through the first 6 bouts of the evening. Getting back to a 10-10 score here with Phil Bakuckas coming onto the mat here, see what he can do, get to his offense. He's been a little bit slow offensively this year, and see if he can get to his feet, get to his offense on his feet.
I mean, there were some lopsided scores in that Rutgers-Iowa matchup a couple days ago. Everything pretty tightly contested so far today. Well, Rutgers, that 9-0 start, the best start in the program's 82-year history. And an excellent win against Cornell the last couple days of November. Now into that Big Ten schedule. Here's Pukakus.
And we just mentioned it, right to his offense on his feet. He was able to get there, wasn't able to finish. Micah Barnes doing a great job on his defense there to get his feet back on the mat as they just get under 1.5 minutes here left in the first period.
Micah Barnes, the junior from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Nebraska in the red, Rutgers in the black. Barnes, another excellent record. He's 10-1 overall. He's tallied 4 major decisions this year. John, you brought up earlier how Anthony Ashnault, who he won his bout against Anthony Abidin, a major decision earlier, the first ever undefeated New Jersey state champ, to win it 4 times as well. Well, Barnes, it was also undefeated. His high school career went 47-0 in his senior season.
Another good, absolutely. Anthony Ashnault, one of the best ever in New Jersey high school wrestling. But, man, Phil Bakuckas gets to the leg 2 times here in the first period as we start to wrap this up with 20 seconds and cannot score. Micah Barnes doing a great job on his defense, getting his feet right back down to the mat. And that's the most I've watched almost every match Phil Pukakus has wrestled this year, Kevin, and that's the most offensive I've seen him to date. So that's a good sign coming into this match here.
Well, how does that defensive strategy play into it? We're tied up at 10. We go through that first period with no scoring. How does the defensive strategy change? Maybe stay the same for either of these grapplers?
Yeah, no, I mean, you really want to score, and that's one of the things I think the coaching staff is preaching to Phil Pukakus is that he needs to get to his offense right away as Micah Barnes escapes here in the second period to go up 1-0. He really has to get to his offense because without that, you're kind of in a coin flip at best. A coin flip at best if you're going to win or lose. So, the offensive wrestler, I was reading on Intermat the other day on one of the Foley Friday mailbags that the offensive wrestler and that's another third shot, and you can see that time Micah Barnes hit for stalling, and he's got to get the leg out from in between his legs and up elevated so that he can't put his heel to the mat, because that's what he wants to do, Micah Barnes. And it's a little, and again, and Micah Barnes right back in on an offensive shot. But as I was mentioning, I was reading on Intermat, at the Cliff Keen Open out in Las Vegas, the offensive wrestler in the finals, I believe it was, scored 24 takedowns, and the winning wrestler scored 24 takedowns, and the losing wrestler only scored 3. So clearly, I mean, those numbers right there speak for themselves. If you're going to win the match, you got to score points on your feet. Clearly, Phil Bakuckas got that message and has done a nice job so far in this match, getting to his offensive attacks, but not able to finish as we approach 30 seconds here in the second period. 1-0 Nebraska. Micah Barnes doing a good job defensively on his feet. It's only a matter of time, though, till one of them gets to a leg attack and scores.
Seventh bout this afternoon. They've all been good ones.
And if you're Rutgers and you're looking at the rest of this dual meet, Nebraska has a ranked guy in every single weight class coming back up. But other than heavyweight, they're not favored in this match or the next two. So in order to really win the dual meet, assuming you're going to win heavyweight just based on rankings, you got to steal one of this one or the next two. So this is huge. You're 1-0 in the third period, and you're in the match with Micah Barnes, number 12 in the country. You got to steal one of these next 3 matches to put yourself in a position to win the dual meet against Nebraska would be huge.
Pukakus, he's lost his last 2. He's trying to snap that. And he'll get that point for the escape.
And now here's where the stalling call comes into play, because it's 1-1. No riding time is not a factor. You don't need to take any bad shots. But if you're Micah Barnes, you have to be cognizant that you have to take some offensive shots here, and it might put you in a bad position.
Well, some of the fans, they were calling for stalling just a moment ago.
Oh, I'm sure they are. They want the W any way they can get it. They'll call for stalling if the other guy was taking all the shots.
Minute and 20 left in the third. Now, one takedown may be the difference in this one.
He's got to get that extended. He's got to have it. He sits him to his hip. He's not in good position there with his belly out. He's got to get his knees underneath him. Micah Barnes looks like he's going to score.
And Barnes gets 2 for the takedown. And now 60 seconds. Excellent move that time from Micah Barnes.
And this has really been the story, if you follow Phil Bakuckas, is tight matches with everybody he wrestles. 1-2, 2-3, 4-3. And here he is again in a 3-1 match with 1 minute left in the third period. An escape puts him in the same position. A takedown still wins the match, but you have to get to your offense. You've taken 5 or 6 shots, and you've been fairly deep on the shot, and you cannot finish. And Micah Barnes able to capitalize, and that's why you're ranked number 12 in the country. You can win a lot of bouts, able to capitalize. And right here, you might get a stall call. There's nothing going on there other than just kind of hanging tight. And here, 38 seconds. He's got to get to his offense, and he's got to be able to finish the takedown.
So there you go. That's the point for the escape. A takedown essentially could win this one for Rutgers. Barnes trying to hold him off.
A couple more shots like that, you may get a stall call with 20 seconds left, tie the bout up to go to overtime. 2 double unders. And Barnes throws him right to his back. And with 15 seconds left, you got to get off your back. You definitely don't want to give up the fall. And Phil Bakuckas does a good job of fighting off his back, but that kind of takes the wind right out of your sails as you end the third period.
Heck of a finish. Heck of a finish for Micah Barnes. And that is the score, 9-2. And it's 3 points for Mark Manning. He's looking for win number 209. By the way, Nebraska, they have one of their former stars in the building. You could call him the best wrestler on planet Earth right now, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Burroughs over here, Olympic gold medalist, 3-time world champion, recently won the Worlds this year. Obviously looking to keep the 74-kilogram spot for the United States going into the 2016 Olympics, and one of, if not the best American wrestlers in history. Obviously puts himself in some great company, and right now the best pound-for-pound wrestler on the planet. Like you said,
yeah.
New Jersey native, state champion in high school at Winslow Township High School, and really just a great ambassador for the sport in general. But great to have him here in New Jersey in his home state and back in the building here at the rack.
Yeah, and he's here adjacent to the Nebraska bench. So here's TJ Dudley, number 4 in the country for Nebraska in the 184 weight class against Nicholas Gravina. 2 unranked wrestlers for Rutgers squaring off against Dudley, and then Aaron Studebaker for Nebraska. 3 bouts remaining. Dudley 6-1 on the season. He just gets the 2 points. Gravina 7-3.
Looks like there's some blood over there for Nick Gravina.
Oh, Gravina 0-3 against ranked wrestlers this season, and he's trying to snap that. 2015 All-Academic Big Ten selection. Went up against Dudley. He's an All-American in his own right. I mean, you brought it up. You have Billy Smith, number 6 in the country in that heavyweight division, going up against Colin Jensen for Nebraska. Now, he's favored in terms of the ranking, but the next 2, like you said, if Rutgers wants to come back, they've got to steal one of these upcoming matchups in the 184 or the 197 weight class.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ Dudley, absolute stud, ranked number 4 in the country for a reason. Off to a really fast start this year, has 2 pins, 6-1 on the season. But Nick Gravina really starting to come into his own. You saw him earlier in this match get on a nice offensive takedown, but Dudley able to get out of it. So this is another match where you feel like you can get in it. You see Nick Gravina right there, focused, ready to go, right to his feet.
And Dudley trying to yank him down.
Start back over. Looked like there'll be a caution there on TJ Dudley.
Dudley, the junior from Irmo, South Carolina. Just a little bit west of the capital, Columbia.
Good sip rollback right there. You saw him come right back. Looked like he was looking for a rollback half, but right now spiking the leg. Has 2 one-on-ones. Looking to see if he can get a cross wrist. He's trying to roll through on the cross wrist. Gravina able to hip down, not let him go through, but Dudley just powerful. Pulls him right over, and no back points yet, but they're in an awkward position. You can see Dudley with the roll through tilt, trying to almost get it. Does not score any points there. Gravina doing a nice job of not going all the way over, saving some back points, but over a minute of riding time now for Dudley.
And he has the 2-0 advantage. Gravina trying to fight out of this somehow.
You can see him trying to hip away. Dudley doing a great job of following. Gravina trying to stay in. Gravina right back to his feet, relentless, trying to get out.
4 seconds left in the first period. Nebraska, 10 ranked wrestlers. Every weight class. And they started this year at number 10 in the country. They've climbed all the way up to number 4.
Good job by TJ Dudley, able to hang on to Nick Gravina, who is just relentless, who's just being relentless right now on bottom, trying to get out. As they go to the second period, TJ Dudley will be on bottom. Sits him right back. You can see him has a tight waist, working a half, trying to keep him right, hips as close as possible. Scooted a leg in. He's got to be able to keep elevating that arm coming back, but TJ Dudley long, able to create some space, catches the leg right there, but Gravina locks it in.
It is really tough to bring down Dudley.
And you can hear the knowledgeable New Jersey wrestling fans clapping when he was able to get in the leg there on top and start to control this, and now he's got to be able to break him flat, which he's trying to do currently. Brings the riding time back down under a minute, and Gravina's trying to get a wrist out on his back or anything, but Dudley very flat on his bottom. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a stall call. He's bunched up on the bottom. Gravina punishing on top right now. He's got to be careful he doesn't get overzealous and create some space for Dudley to get out.
Riding time almost now down to 0. That's wiping a potential point away from Dudley. Number 4 in the country.
And Gravina doing a great job on top. He's not able to get a turn. Dudley really takes, believe it or not, it doesn't look like Dudley's doing a whole lot, Kevin, but that takes a ton out of you to defend getting turned the entire second period here with 15 seconds left. Gravina pulling him back to try to score some points. He's got to be careful of his hips here with 7 seconds left after having a great period. He doesn't want to give up any points. Doesn't look like he's going to.
To the third period we go. Riding time at 26 seconds for Gravina with 2 minutes left. And it looks like Gravina, he'll be in the defensive position. Nebraska with the 3-point lead, 13-10. We have 2 bouts remaining.
And here you are, Kevin, in a similar position as you were at 174 if you're the Scarlet Knights, in the match with a much higher-ranked wrestler. Don't be surprised if you see a stall call here on Nebraska. But Gravina's got to get back to his feet and continue to try to get out and give himself a chance on his feet to get a takedown. Keeping himself in the match with the top 5 ranked wrestler in the country, TJ Dudley. And they're going to give a reversal for that. They're going to give a reversal, not a takedown. And now Gravina is on top, and he's got to watch his height. Really want a stalemate here unless you can flat him out. And this is great position. He has plenty of time to build over a minute of riding time, but you got to watch your height if you're Nick Gravina.
1 minute to go in the third. Riding time, 20 seconds for Dudley.
You can see Dudley just rolling out, and Nick Gravina, they're still in because of his foot. And if you're Rutgers, you feel pretty good. 30 seconds of riding time with 47 seconds in the match. And Nick Gravina, an opportunity to pull a huge upset if he can keep him down. He's got to get set.
Gravina from Allendale, New Jersey. He's trying to snap 2 straight losses.
47 seconds left here in the period.
Dudley trying to hold him off.
And Nick Gravina still in control.
Riding time starting to pile up for Dudley.
That's nothing. The riding time is in favor of Nick Gravina. About to go over a minute. No points yet. You really want a stalemate here with 20 seconds left. They might award a reversal, but I don't know why. With 7 seconds left, there's no change of position. And he's going to get the upset. And he's going to win on a riding time call. 3-2. The upsetter, the number 4 ranked wrestler in the country, Nick Gravina,